Why? Why do I do that? Now that you know all that about us. So let's meal plan. That's how you save money when you grocery shop. Hey friends, how are y'all doing today? Welcome to 2022. I'm so glad to see you here. Now, with the new year comes a new me? No, not really. I'm still me. But we do have some major plans coming for 2022. We have big projects that are in the works, like setting up a rabbit colony for our meat rabbits, putting in our raised bed garden system, and so much more. If you want to see all of that, I will leave the link down below for our upcoming 2022 plans. But we have to kick off the new year with something fun, and that means participating in the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. I have never done a pantry challenge before, but I think it will be a wonderful way to continue to hone my homesteading skills. And if you are living in a suburban area, or you were still dreaming of your homestead, or wherever you are, guys, I've been there. One way you can prepare is to start honing those homesteading skills right where you are. I started with growing vegetables in 5-gallon buckets, and this year I will be putting in my first ever big garden. Massive garden, I should say, actually, compared to my 5-gallon buckets. But I learned how to care for my plants in those buckets. I learned what hornworms were and how devastating they can be to tomatoes and peppers. And I learned about slugs and aphids and how to care for all of that in my 5-gallon buckets living in an RV park. So don't make an excuse wherever you are. If you are still dreaming of your homestead, get started with those skills today. And one of the skills that you will need as a homesteader is how to rely on yourself and your pantry and not the grocery store. That's somewhere I am still a work in progress. The Three Rivers Challenge is going to help me break that habit of going to the grocery store and start relying on my pantry. I am a budget girl. I am a couponer. I love a good sale. When things that I know my family are going to use, it's not random stuff, but when things I know my family are going to use goes on sale, I stock up. Like the other day I was in Food Lion, and this particular Food Lion had a sale going on their dried beans. They were 2 for $1. So I think I spent like $10 on beans, which was like 20 bags of those beans. It was a pretty good deal. I've got a lot of odds and ends in my house because of that. I have 3 pounds of carrots, raw, whole carrots, in my fridge that I've got to use up. I have 10 pounds of potatoes plus another 5 pounds because this IGA had 10 pounds of potatoes for $2.99. That's 29 cents a pound, guys. I've got some odds and ends that's got to use up, and I have a pretty well-stocked pantry, and I still go to the grocery store. Why? Why do I do that? We did grow a garden last year in containers. Like, I had so many containers going for gardening. It got a little outrageous. But we didn't grow enough to put up. But I did grow vegetables. So this year, my goal is to grow enough in our garden to put up our own stuff. But that's not going to do me any good if I don't know how to use it and rely on my pantry. So yes, right now my pantry is stocked full of store-bought goods. But I'm going to use those. They're all things that I would normally can anyways. I got lots of green beans, carrots, corn, mixed vegetables, stuff like that. Like, it's not box mac and cheese type deals, but it is like canned goods, flour, sugar, salt, stuff like that. So before we get into what I'm going to be cooking this week, which is I know what you're here for, to find out how I'm going to be doing this pantry challenge, let me get down to telling you first how we plan to do the pantry challenge and a few things about my family when it comes to eating. So first, our pantry challenge goal is to only go to the grocery store once a week and spend no more than $25 on dairy and eggs, and that is it. We can buy milk, butter, cheese, sour cream, cream cheese, eggs. That's about it. Dairy and eggs. If it doesn't fall in one of those categories and it's a food product, it is not coming home with us over the next 2 months. But I'm allowing us that because our chickens don't come in until February, and they won't be laying until next winter. So we won't have fresh farm eggs on our property right now. We don't have any kind of milk cow or dairy goat to get our dairy from. And like I said, we live in an RV. We do have 2 refrigerators, but they're tiny RV refrigerators, and they don't hold a lot of gallons of milk or cheese. And again, my 2-year-old obsessed with cheese. While I'm putting my family on a very strict pantry-based challenge, I do want it to be something that we will enjoy eating over the next 2 months and not something we feel enslaved by. So that's why I'm allowing the $25 for dairy and eggs. If you're doing this challenge, make it fit your family. The whole goal is to learn to rely on your pantry and enjoy doing that. And you're not going to enjoy doing that if it is something you feel forced into because you do not have the ingredients that make your family happy. Butter, cheese, milk, those make my family very happy. So we will continue to purchase those over the next 2 months. $25 a week, that's it. That should buy us plenty of eggs and dairy. We go through about 5 dozen eggs a week. Just saying. Another thing about my family that makes us a little bit odd is I don't make lunch. 3 meals a day doesn't happen here. We do not eat breakfast until like 10:30, 11. I am not a morning person. Kenneth is not a morning person. And Declan is not a morning person. I don't want to hop up out of bed and go get completely full with food. I want to get up, get ready, and drink my coffee. Breakfast around here usually happens about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then I'm cooking dinner about 6. So we just don't do lunch. I have things like trail mix, cheese sticks, pickled eggs, pretzels, granola, raisins, stuff like that. That if anybody is feeling hungry, especially on days where we are really working outside, like clearing land, we tend to get more hungry. Anybody can come in at any given time and grab something that's quick and easy, fills their belly, gives them a little more energy to keep going until dinner. That's how we do things around here. Declan eats a lot of snacks. He likes his pretzels and his trail mix and his raisins, and so that's that. You will not see lunches on my meal plan. Another thing about the way that I cook is, if you do not know, we're an off-grid family. We do have a generator that you may hear running in the background through some of our videos. We do have solar power, but we don't have a ginormous $40,000 solar power system like some off-grid families do. I mean, that's how they want to live, that's cool, but that's not how we choose to live. We have a very small solar power system, so we do try to conserve all of our energy. We try to make every bit of fuel and solar power we use count. So if I'm cooking something like a soup, a stew, beans, rice, something like that, I'm going to make a big batch of it, and we will eat it more than once. Same with biscuits. I made biscuits this morning. I made enough biscuits that will last us at least 2 days, if not 3, depending on if they become snacks throughout the day, which sometimes they do. That's the thing. I'm conserving water that I'm going to need to wash my dishes. I'm conserving fuel that I'm going to need to cook my food, especially if it's something I'm using the Instant Pot for, because we have to run our generator to use our Instant Pot. So I want to go ahead and do as much as I can in that Instant Pot at the same time. That way I'm not having to run the generator as much. So yes, on my meal plan, we eat leftovers pretty often. I do try to change them up a little bit so that it's not the same thing day after day. And I do try to space them out. So I may cook something one day and then have a leftover from a previous night the next day. And then whatever I cook that first day will become a leftover for the next night. And so it kind of like rotates, if that makes any sense to y'all. So you will notice that. So I tend to cook big amounts and then we split them up and have them multiple times. And if it's something that makes a whole lot, I will, especially if it's a meat, like if we're doing a pork shoulder or a ham, a turkey, something like that, we may use it 2 or 3 nights in that 1 week. And then whatever we have left over will go in the freezer for, you know, the next time that we need that kind of meat or something, and then we'll pull it out and use it for a dish there. I don't meal plan breakfast. The reason for that is we have our favorites that get used very often. So grits, oatmeal, eggs, bacon, sausage, biscuits, That's generally what we do. Occasionally I'll do some kind of pancakes if I'm feeling feisty, or if we have some kind of leftover bread that's getting stale, I will make French toast with it. But that's really all we do. And the reason for that is, again, I have a picky 2-year-old. I let him choose in the morning what he's filling up for. Some days, he just wants cereal. He will eat cereal. I usually make me an egg. I'm not a big cereal eater. Some days, he wants grits. We have grits a lot because that kid loves grits. When I wake up in the morning, I usually ask him, hey Declan, what do you want for breakfast? And I will sometimes give him 2 or 3 options depending on what I'm thinking of, and then let him choose from that. And that's what we do for breakfast. So that is not meal planned. I just keep the basics for all of the types that we keep in our rotation on hand at all times. That way he can just say, hey, this is what I'm feeling this morning. Because then he is more likely to eat if he has a hand in choosing what we're eating. Now that you know all that about us, let me tell you what our meal plan is for this week. The key to eating on a budget and meal planning on a budget is leftovers are your friend. Make big dishes. If you're going to make rice, make a big thing of rice and use it for multiple dishes. Variety costs money. If you want a different thing every night that includes different ingredients every night, you are going to spend more money. Plain and simple. If you cook in bulk, you're using less time, you're using less electricity, less water, less fuel. Whatever you use to cook, you're using less of it, so you're saving money there. So let's meal plan. Today is Saturday, New Year's Day. So again, Happy New Year. Tonight we are having chicken noodle stew. It's not a soup. Kenneth does not like chicken noodle soup. Kenneth does not like any kind of soup that is mostly broth. He wants something thick and hearty. So I make stews, not soups, and they have more in them. Let me get it. I have this shells with sun-dried tomato and mascarpone cheese sauce that I bought last year. It didn't get eaten because we ate 1 box and we didn't like it. So I haven't cooked it again. And it's just sitting in my pantry staring at me, and I haven't been able to figure out what to do with it. So I'm going to use the noodles out of this for my chicken noodle stew tonight, and I'm going to put the sauce packet aside for another night. Maybe I'll do like a spaghetti or something one night, and I'll throw that sauce packet in with my sauce just to give it like a cheesy, saucy type deal. So I will have shredded chicken, my noodles, some of my carrots that I bought in bulk, onion, garlic. I'll probably chop up some potatoes because again I bought them in bulk, and throw that in there. And I tend to play with things as I go and just taste and go. Chicken noodle stew tonight. Tomorrow night is that leftover Frito pies. Monday night we will have the chicken noodle stew leftovers from what we have left over tonight, because I will make a big pot that I know will cover at minimum 2 nights, possibly 3 nights. So I bought a ham when it was on sale the day after Christmas, one of those spiral cut Christmas hams. We had rabbit for Christmas, we didn't have ham because it wasn't on sale before Christmas, not at the same price. But the day after Christmas I got it on sale at like 80 cents a pound for this ham. It's spiral cut, like already spiral cut ham. 80 cents a pound. I think it was spiral cut. It may not have been. Anyways, either way, it was still 80 cents a pound. So I went ahead and picked it up. We will be smoking it on Tuesday on the smoker. We've already bought the wood for it. But that's a big ham, and that is more than 1 night's of food. I mean, if you make a ham for Christmas, you know, especially for 3 people, that's going to feed you more than 1 night. We will have ham, then 1 night we will have leftover ham, and then I will take the ham bone and use it for a dish, and then whatever ham we have left over will go in the freezer. So, just so you know where we're at. This day is today, the 1st. We will have the chicken noodle stew. Tomorrow, we will have the leftover Frito pie. Monday, we will have the chicken noodle stew leftovers. Tuesday, we will have that smoked ham that I was talking about with some kind of rolls, vegetables, and mashed potatoes. I will again make a big thing of mashed potatoes, so it will carry over to another day, and probably a big thing of rolls to carry over to another day. And then on Wednesday, we will have just like chicken breast with some kind of rice and veg. That rice, I will make a big pot of it, and we will use it again on another day. Our leftover ham will be used right here on Thursday with whatever mashed potatoes and rolls we have left over, and then I'll just make another vegetable. Then we will take the ham bone from the ham and make red beans and rice with that ham bone. And we will use the rice that we had left over. We'll use the rice we have left over from that chicken, veg, and rice night to go with our beans and rice. And then on Saturday, we will have just the beans with some kind of saltine crackers. We can have the rice if we have it left over, but that will give us beans 2 nights in a row, which my family does not complain about. So that's this week. We are having chicken noodle stew 2 nights in a row. Leftover Frito pie from last night, we'll have 1 night. The smoked ham will make 4 dishes. So that 1 ham will make 4 dishes. We will have ham 2 nights. Then we will have the beans 2 nights, which will have ham bone, and whatever ham's left over on that bone will end up in the beans as well. So it's 4 nights from 1 ham. And I will guarantee you I will still have some that goes in the freezer. We can also take that ham and cut it up and make things like a ham chowder. We can fry it up for breakfast, stuff like that. So that's how you save money when you grocery shop, is you buy things on sale and you buy things in bulk and you make multiple dishes with them. Now we are only having ham and vegetables and roll 2 nights, and they're split by a night, so that we're not getting tired of eating ham. And then you completely change it up and throw it in some beans, and then it's not a ham dish, it's a bean dish. So again, we're using that ham, we make something completely different. So that's how we do things around here. We're having chicken breast 1 night because I do like to have something on the plan that I can easily take away, I guess you would say. If we have too many leftovers 1 week, I will just do a leftover night, knock that day off the schedule, do a leftover night where all the different leftovers are heated up, and we kind of just make a smorgasbord where it's like a potluck on your plate. So you have different bits from each and every meal on your plate to use up your leftovers. That's a whole big old spiel on how I meal plan for my family and how I grocery shop for my family on a budget on the homestead. Who else is entering into this pantry challenge that Three Rivers is doing? I want to know what you're doing for your meals. Are you changing things up? Are you doing $25 a week for eggs and dairy? Are you doing something completely different? Are you allowing money for fresh fruits and vegetables? How are you making this challenge your own? Also, let me know what your favorite meals are that you have planned down below. Now, over on Instagram, if you are following us at Living the Height Life, I am posting in my stories when I cook a meal on this challenge. I'm going to go ahead and post it to my stories. On Mondays on Instagram, I will compile all those pictures and make a list of what I made that week for the challenge. And then, of course, my Monday video here, I will go ahead and show y'all each of those pictures, plus little clips of me making certain meals, telling y'all how the challenge is going for us, what we've used up so far. That way you can kind of keep an idea, and I can keep track of what I have used for the week. Whew. So we have quite the 2 months ahead of us. I'm excited to see how things play out for us over the next 2 months. Can my family go 2 months with only spending $25 a week at the grocery store? I know we have the food to do it, but do we have the willpower to do it? And that's going to be the trick. Alright, friends. Bye-bye, friends.
Bye-bye, friends.
Bye-bye, friends.
Bye-bye, friends.
We will see y'all on Wednesday.
See tomorrow.
No, we'll see y'all on Wednesday.
See Wednesday.
Yeah, we will see y'all on Wednesday. Bye now.
Bye-bye.